Like the OPL. Outlaws take on Athletico Esports. Game 1 starts now. It's a best of 3 series to make it to the finals and the OPL promotion tournament. And look at this straight away priorities. Yasuo and Orianna banned.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really special. We're just talking about both of those champions. But there is a Thresh ban to Aladoric that is quite strange towards me because I know Aladoric likes to tend towards the play of the Alistar and the Braum.
Yeah, I completely agree with it. We've seen him be very proficient as well.
Yep.
I think it's one of those things now they kind of go, maybe we want to just make sure that we can not have to deal with that specifically. Because K-pop, that man likes to really play his Tahm Kench quite a fair bit. That's something I like to see him do. And I think when you do try to like play that Tahm Kench into something, all of a sudden having a Thresh can change things up a little bit.
I really like this Cogmore ban. Rain has been playing it a lot in solo queue. I think I think off OPL team he's playing a lot in OPL. You can see how this champion is so efficient and so powerful in tank meta. And we do have the first pick Maokai because Maokai is the most broken champion in his current meta. And I'm actually I did not think about that, but that went through.
No, you're exactly right. The first pick Maokai, and they're going to respond with the Braum. But what else can they pick up? It looks like Dan will be going for the knock-up special team Rek'Sai.
Yeah, they got Braum for Aladoric, and I know Dan loves the Rek'Sai jungle.
Yeah.
I haven't seen many Rek'Sai jungles in this meta at the moment.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting because she had a bit of popularity, especially around Rift Rivals. That's when she actually picked up a fair bit. Then she copped a couple of nerfs, so she wasn't as favorable.
Well, we're in the bruiser meta then. Like, we weren't into that heavy tank meta, right? And Rek'Sai got the buffs and became that more early game power.
The thing that is open is Zac is open at the moment.
That is an option. He's actually been. This is 7.15, so
yes,
he has
Zac has been heavily nerfed.
Yes.
Specifically, he's clear, so he's very slow at clearing, but he still holds the CC and long range engage that you kind of need from tanks.
What's the big thing that hit him a bit harder on that as well is he uses more health on that clear as well. So all of a sudden, those dives that he's so good at just seem to have pitted off just a little bit there. Because I'm expecting that even though maybe Zac may be through, that's probably going to be a Maokai jungle. I really feel Curse is going to be on that carry. I feel it's going to be either on the Camille or, if possible, no, mine's been banned, probably a Renekton, something that he can actually carry on.
Yeah, top laners haven't really been shown. There's not many bans besides the Camille. Yeah, they've just been target bans so far. But I am surprised as to why they picked the Janna Tristana into the Braum. That's not a winning matchup really at all, but I guess it's just a comfort that kind of showing how they just want to sacrifice and just farm bot lane.
Maybe it's just on the Ardent center, but you can see the Tristana, Janna down the bottom lane. They're already locked in Maokai and Bedoink. Going to be picking up most likely the Corki again. There's something I want to share with you, Choo-Choos, because Gunkrab in the past has played Corki 80 carry.
Has he?
Apparently so. Last week this was confirmed as a flex by Preacher, and now the Corki's been locked in yet again, but I do think it will be the Corki mid.
I do agree with that.
I hope it's
I do agree with it going to 80 carry because it does open your mid lane. Well, mid laners love playing... mid laners want to win their lane. So if you can play Lucian mid or Zed or Yasuo and AD mid, then you move the Corki to the bottom lane. And knowing Bedoink, he would... I know he's a Zed player. He may be looking at that.
Oh, that's an interesting sort of pick up there. Well, I do remember Jinx Braum being a fantastic synergy in terms of what they can do. I mean, the fact that you're able to lock down everything from there, you can drop, basically if he lands a Winter's Bite, follow up with the Rockets, and then once the stun goes through, you can lock them down further with the Chompers afterwards. That's going to be a very interesting bot lane for Athletico.
I like Athletico's comp. You can see they've gone Corki Jinx, so they have a very... they put a lot of emphasis onto their backline. And they have the Braum, who's going to shield them very well, and they have the Rek'Sai, which can always knock up and get rid of that. Well, I mean, they've just locked in Vladimir, so it shows me that Willaris is just diving for the backline.
Yeah, pretty much, because remember, his Orianna was taken away, and all these 80 carry bans as well. You have the Cogmore, like we talked about, the Lucian, the Caitlyn, away from Gunkrab in specifics. Looks like the final pick could be this J4, which has been played in the jungle in the OCS, but we do know that's probably the Maokai. We know that Curse is probably going to pick that one up.
Yeah, Maokai, Jarvan top, Jarvan jungle.
It works both ways, especially with the new change.
It's a double flex.
It's not giving much away.
You can really tell that Athletico are putting a lot of emphasis onto their backline, so they pick the Jarvan, so they just want to get on top of this. If the Jinx does burn Flash, and there you go, the Galio mid lane to be another frontline tank you can see. But you can definitely see that the way this game's going to play out is Outlaws is just going to want to dive that backline, and Athletico are just going to do their best to try and get this Vladimir off that Jinx.
What I like about their composition that they put together, that they do have the Rek'Sai who's able to jump into any teamfight he wants to. All he needs to do is land that Prey Seeker. Once it does hit, he can just jump into someone straight away, and all of a sudden, that's perfect for Galio then to just blend into their backline.
That is true.
So it's a good way.
I've never thought of Rek'Sai's engaged, but I guess with Galio, you can pull that combo off. That'll be interesting to see.
I think Athletico Esports, interesting frontline or interesting engage, you just pointed out there as well. But Doink picking up Corki 2 weeks in a row. Gungrab pulling out the Jinx here, and I think this is not a surprising pick in the fact of how successful we think it's going to be, but surprising that he would pull this out in the best-of-3 series. Game 1 is a bit loose. Game 1 is about testing the waters, and it looks like he wants to test the waters with a Jinx. There is a lot of late game.
I don't like the Jinx pick.
You don't?
Jinx, in my opinion, isn't a meta pick at the moment. I think that the top tier meta picks are Kalista, Tristana, and Xayah. Those 3 AD carries are just stands out far better than everything else at the moment. The Jinx takes too long to ramp up for me. Okay. Going Jinx Braum into this Tristana Janna lane should be very interesting. Do
you think it's more of a reaction to saying, yep, they've picked up that Tristana Janna. Now that means we actually got enough time to let Jinx grow into that hyper carry that she can be in that lane, because we know Rain and K-pop will be able to do that typical Janna build at the moment, which is you get the gold quints, you play very passively, and there's going to be a big engage happening here.
Starting there, K-pop is a little bit far back. Flash burnt early by Willaris. Athletico Esports push and take an early summoner.
Yeah, just an early cheese. Gets a free summoner. That's definitely going to help Doink in the mid lane. We may see an early gank onto this Vladimir before he can level up his pull, because you traditionally don't level up your pull until level 3.
Yep.
So we may see a cheese.
That'd be interesting to see as well. Sometimes even some Vladimirs like to be even more greedy, go for a Q on level 3 or get that Q the second time and go for level 4.
That is me. Oh, no. I would say safely that I am that greedy player. I will take 2 points in my Q, and I do get punished a fair bit for it. I definitely hope Willaris is smart enough to realize that no flash. I am under threat. I am under threat by this Rek'Sai, Flash, and Burrow. Should probably be 100% dead.
This is going to be very interesting with that, because I know that is a big thing, and I'm a bit surprised Outlaws let that happen. Typically, Broms always love to go for that invade. It's probably one of the strongest invades in the game with that passive.
Something very interesting as well is Willaris has gone for quite a greedy itemization with the Dark Seal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, true.
He didn't go. I love the Doran Shield, especially in this Corki matchup, because it does nullify a lot of the auto attack trades. But he has gone for the Dark Seal, and I guess it's kind of shows that this guy wants to win lane. He wants to solo kill Badoink.
What's even more greedy about it as well is the fact that he didn't go for 3 pots. He went for the refillable. So he's actually even saying, you know what, Badoink, I can actually deal with you, most of you, for this point in time. This is interesting.
Yeah, good trading down in the bottom lane. Rain going to push back with that explosive charge, and Gunkrab takes about half his health. He's going to be okay. The Janna Tristana lane, we were bagging out the Jinx pick a little bit.
I would expect the Jinx to be a bit more, I guess, aggressive in this situation, because she's got the Braum who's able to jump into the middle. But here's what we're talking about.
Yeah, level 2 hits first. I don't know why they say Rain is taking a lot. Has to rocket jump at level 2. We're going to fade away from that. Because here we go. Dandane going in. No flash on Willaris, remember, but nice and early. The burst of damage, the ignite, and first blood to Athletico Esports.
And he didn't even need a burn flash. You can just see Willaris wasn't respecting that early gank. And Rek'Sai still has flash and may look for a repeat gank.
It's going to be just moving around here now. And it goes back to what you said, that they knew exactly that he didn't have it down. They thought he was going to be greedy, especially, it just seemed to be in place because of his build that he's gone for there. I do like the fact that he's decided to go for the boots in this situation. Figured, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to win lane now.
I think that's all the money he had. he didn't really get many choices. He probably backed on 300 gold. All right, I'll get boots.
No, but Willaris still half the cooldown on that flash, but very proactive from Dandane, and we were expecting that from the Rek'Sai jungle. Two seasons ago, in 2016, at the start of the split, or maybe should I say the end, Dandane was playing Rek'Sai. He's played this champ so much, and it fits his playstyle so well.
And what I like about it here is that he's already managed to make that adjustment across to it, because it was different before. His ultimate before was all about that map pressure. This one gives him a bit more extra, I guess you could say, fighting power is the big thing here.
Fighting pressure, Mendrick.
Yeah. Okay, fighting power. I mean, it all comes down to a different thing, or fighting pressure.
Sure.
And for him to actually still pick it up, use the fact that he needs to be more aggressive on it rather than just, power farming to the side, it's okay.
Oh, it might be a solo kill up. No. Actually, Galio's no mana. No mana. What am I talking about? But I do want to point out that Dan does have the option. I don't know if he's that kind of player, but does have the option to go warrior. With Rek'Sai's new ultimate, if he does go warrior, that's an absurd amount of damage. And with the Vladimir falling behind, he can put so much pressure onto this mid lane.
Are we not still seeing Rek'Sai's rush for the Tiamat, though? Like the Warwick early, like what I've seen Rek'Sai's internationally, is it worth going for the Tiamat this early on, or?
No, Tiamat's a meme. Tiamat should not
It's a meme.
Tiamat should not be built early because this is not solo queue. This is competitive games. Yeah. I like how he's going for the ward smite item, the tracker's knife, and this will mean that he's probably just going to save his Corki and give him a bit more room to harass this Vladimir onto tower.
Yeah, not only that means he can also keep track of Scam Diggity as well. That means he's going to be not doing too well in that regard. And we know Scam Diggity is very aggressive as well. K-Pop might be in trouble.
Yeah, he gets zapped down. Rocket Jump. Rain goes in, actually fighting Aladoric as the cleanse. Early Rocket Jump for the extra damage. One more concussive blow. Flash from Aladoric slows him down. He goes down in the end, shielded by Janna. Intense 2v2, but Outlaws will be the victors.
This is a really big problem for Athletico specifically, because all of a sudden now the composition that's going to be scaling better in towards the late game is now going to have a bit of a is going to be having a rougher time, and now they can't fight aggressively throughout that mid lane and actually take advantage of the fact that they've got that Braum.
I mean, you can kind of see right now that we've got a kill either side of the board. The 2 win conditions for both teams have been outlined. It seems that Rain is going to be that carry threat, and that Bedoink is going to be the Corki carry threat for Athletico. But you just got to start to think of if Guncrab or if Willaris can pull through and who can be more effective for the team. Yeah,
I'm a bit curious with Scam Diggity's attempt to come in here to sort of help push that out. I think maybe he was just worried about where Dan Dane was at that particular point in time. And thought, you know what, I'm going to just get in here, make sure my bot lane can get pushed up, get that wave there so they get a free back and continue to push that advantage.
Yeah, I like that this Galio has maintained a lot of pressure in the top lane. This does look like a good matchup. I didn't know too much about this matchup, but it does seem that 528 is controlling this lane. So it will mean that he does have that roaming pressure with his ultimate.
It seems that we were talking about the top lane in Champ Select even before, and we were talking about, oh, these guys like to play carries, Kled, Camille. And look at this, we've got a sloppy tank fest up top. Like, we got the Maokai, we got the Galio. It's like, oh, a bit of action. Nice. That's it.
You can see that Galio is winning these trades slowly, but then Maokai will have, once he gets his first offensive item, he will sustain through this lane, and we will probably see the most boring lane in this match.
What do you expect for 528 though is to just continue putting that pressure out, probably make a move towards that bot side, especially when you do have the Corki, who can also be a delivery system for his ultimate at the same time if he decides to use that package effectively. And it's so good that Corki has that advantage in the lane as well, because that means that he's going to be allowed to roam effectively. You can see the pressure being put onto this blue buff already.
I like this invade a lot. You can definitely see that they punish the Maokai recalling. There's no TP to follow up. This is a 3v2. They secure blue buff. That was well played by Athletico.
I think what Scam needs to do now is just move towards that bot side of the map and start putting the pressure there. Start getting something back for Outlaws, because Athletico seem to be knowing where their win condition is in this mid or early to mid game, and they're playing it very well.
It doesn't feel like he can expose mid, really. I mean, Bedoink is ahead by about 10 CS right now, and it's all because of that early gank. It's all because of the pressure that Dan Dane outlined around Vladimir. And right now, Willaris, I mean, it is a Vladimir. He's only 1 death, and he will scale the heck out of this game. But a little bit worried, a little bit questionable about how Willaris will section into the mid game.
Yeah, you can definitely see that Outlaw's goal at the moment is just to try and draw this game out as long as possible. Both teams probably think they have scaling on their side, but I will give it to Outlaws, just because they do have the Vladimir, and the Vladimir, when he builds armor, hopefully he's smart enough to go Ninja Tabai. Please go Ninja Tabai. The only damage threats is the 80 carries coming from Athletico, but Willaris definitely has the potential to carry this game.
I completely agree with that as well. 528's doesn't have too much mana here, so I'm a bit confused as to why he wants to continue this trade.
Because it's 5-8,
He's still doing it. Okay, he's doing well, I must admit. He's going to have to back away now.
He plays Shen, okay? He loves tanks. But he's going to be forced back, that's right, choose. So no TP on the Galio either.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for this first big macro play. We're hitting around the level 6-7 mark now. Mid laners, Corki will base and get his first package. What you want to do when you do have Corki package or Corki passive up is you tend to want to roam to a lane that has priority. This Jinx and Braum, if they are able to force this Tristana Janna under tower, will give that option to Corki.
Yeah, Curse does have the teleport advantage as well coming into this. So I think there's a lot of that play just getting nullified immediately because they go, you know what, we don't have to teleport on 5-8. He does have his ultimate as availability to get into it, but at the same time, Curse can be there at any point in time. And all of a sudden our plays, our options for plays, just get it reduced quite a fair bit.
But if you go down to the bottom lane, aren't you concerned about the counterplay? I mean, you've got Rocket Jump, you've got the Monsoon, you've got the Hurricane as well. I'm going to see Scam Diggity caught out, but it's just, look, this is Athletico. Let's come back, Mendrix. There's so much counterplay in the bottom lane. Why do you not get scared if you're Bedoink?
Why do you not get scared if you're Bedoink?
Yeah, well, you're going to bring your package down to a lane that can disengage so easily.
Not when you've got Braum, not
Yeah.
when you've got Galio, not when you've got so many engage tools available to you. The idea is you need to like, layer it down perfectly while they're pushed up. If you have that advantage, then you can really make a fight work.
Yep.
Although Janna, I mean, you like Janna to a degree. I remember you talking about it in FPL. That's the joke.
Don't do that.
Press E.
Don't do that. I want this Janna to die.
Wow.
I want this Braum to... Yeah,
It's the reason why
going back to your
so,
point,
so annoying.
They do have a lot of disengage in the spot lane, but this Braum does have the potential to, if he's able to proc the passive into the ult, that's all the time you need to eliminate the Janna or the Tristana. They're both very squishy targets. Yes, they have a lot of peel, but that's not as efficient in these early levels.
I think Athletico have a lot of good re-engage tools in the middle of a team fight as well. Braum will continue to apply that passive. Jinx gets excited, which gives her a lot of good chase potential. You do have someone with a taunt constantly walking into it with his own little dash forward. Same with Bedoink with his ability to continue. They have a lot of chase potential with Athletico. So even if Outlaws do manage to peel off, if there was a favorable trade for Athletico, they can really chase them down.
Now Rift Herald getting started. No one aware from Outlaws. Not really having this topside river control. 528 is pushing so hard in this lane. Curse is down in CS. Willaris is now almost 20 CS down. The top side of Athletico Esports are just going exceptional right now.
The junglers are still the same level, so this is quite a bold play by Dandan to try and secure the Rift Herald. With this Rift Herald, he will try to break that mid tower, give that Corki that roaming potential, but this Jarvan has completed the Cinder Hulk, and you can just see that he has a bit more tempo in terms of itemization. It's really which jungler makes the first play here.
And it just makes it easier for Dandan to go for those plays, though, when there's so much pressure and control on that top side of the map. Because Scam, really, I feel he's only just been farming because that's his only option. He wants to make a move towards that bot side, but really when there is the ability for 528 to come down, when there is that ability for Corki to be a package away, he doesn't need to worry about that. And I think that lead is going to continue to grow in Athletico's favor when they do manage to pop that Rift Herald.
So we're about to see Corki get his package for the first time this game, and we are also about to see Rek'Sai potentially make his first play with this Rift Herald. I'm curious as to if he's going to be using it for the bot lane, but it looks like actually Corki is not getting his passive.
Leaving it. Or is it
leaving
not
it?
available?
I'm not sure.
I feel like by now it's available. I mean, he's got Trinity Force as well.
He's not got much. He's going to use
There
his
we go.
Valkyrie.
That's it. Yeah, that's mini pack. Yeah.
Mini package.
Valkyrie down, boys. 15 seconds.
All right, so Outlaws at this moment in time have really put a lot of damage onto that bot side turret. So I really feel it's going to be in this bot side that they're going to come back to the lane, and this is where they're going to be using the Rift Herald.
You can see that the Scam Diggity's already prepared for this. He's already at the mid lane, as well as Willaris is coming back to the mid lane. They should be able to defend this tower.
And right now,
I don't know. It's taking a lot of damage.
Scam Diggity's there, and Dandan really not going to care too much. Rift Herald just going to swipe away and at least get the majority of chip damage. I think it's going to go down, but...
That's a lot of chunk, though. You can see that tower's only at about 200 HP. This Corki has finished the Triforce. I would say that he's more lane pressure at the moment.
Yep.
It would be interesting to see if we see this tower go down in the next couple minutes.
But I mean, from Athletico Esports, it does feel like a smart move to open up the map for Bedoink and allow him to start roaming, getting away from Willaris, who is starting to withstand all the damage that he's putting out.
Yeah, as it goes further in, or as this game continues to go further in time, his sustain will eventually come online and won't be too much for Bedoink to be able to do. But on the flip side, when you look at those towers going down, that is a very low tower on the bot side of the map, and it is about to go down itself.
Outlaws actually going to trade this first and get first turret blood before anything.
That's huge.
And a rotation coming through. Dandan, the response forces the flash from Curse, and he'll just walk out of the turret.
I don't like this play by Outlaws. I don't like they're going for the dragon. The Ocean Dragon doesn't offer a lot. It is good for laning phase, but they have eliminated laning phase by taking the first tower.
Yeah, the big thing as well at this is that they're giving up their top side in the processor. They are Curse is using his teleport there to actually make this work. So the fact that now their bot side is going to be backing, there's going to be no pressure, it opens up Curse to a really big dive because he has no summoners.
Yeah, but the early gold coming through from Outlaws might not be the best play, but 1k gold lead Nothing to frown about, nothing to get excited about either if you are an Outlaws fan. Athletico Esports have rotated to the mid lane, and package was available for Badoink, but I don't think he's going to be able to use it. He just moves it over to blue buff.
Okay, so Outlaws are in a good spot at the moment. They have tempo advantage. The Tristana is very big at the moment with the Zeal and the Infinity Edge. They put it in the mid lane just to try and stall out this try and prevent this mid lane tower from going down. But we may see him get it killed here.
Oh, the flash
good
forward
jump.
after the rocket jump. Even Cleanse is coming through. Rain gets destroyed.
That should be
and the
mid
Super
tower.
Mega Death Rocket comes as well.
That should be mid tower going down. That was a very nice play from Dan. Ready for someone to come back to mid lane with his flash. It was very nice synergy to see them both flash at the same time and secure that kill onto the tower.
Outlaws are moving immediately here to make sure this tower doesn't go down. Their entire unit is coming into us. Even Curse has made his way here as well. So I feel like they are moving their resources appropriately to make sure that they can't take this.
I would love to see a dive. I would have loved to see a Galio ult into Rek'Sai, because Rek'Sai still has his ult. His ult didn't go off just then. I would have loved to see a dive in the mid lane there.
I think they're looking to force a fight here with the vision.
Outlaws are going to wait in this side brush. Dandan's going to clear the ward. Do they know Guncrab's there? Now they do. Rooted down 2 members. Ultimate as well. There's the Ants. They come marching in, but one goes down. 5 to 8. Rotates. Willaris will get a 4-man Hemoplague, but he's knocked up. And Outlaws have just been surprised with a double kill from 5 to 8.
Yeah, they got caught by 2 chompers. That was just great play from Guncrab. A very questionable play from Outlaws to be stalling around when it's a 4v5.
I don't think Badoink is going to fall down here.
Curse is going to chase this
good
as well.
damage
The
there.
range from Rain, the heal used as well, the explosive charge, but Doink gets out. And there's no capitalization from Outlaws whatsoever. A turret in the top lane for Guncrab.
All of a sudden you see this tempo just come out. It's ridiculous. And it all comes down to the fact that Rain went down. He was there, he was soloed by himself, didn't have that support that he needed. As soon as Athletico were able to get that kill already, they put the pressure on, they take control of the river jungle, and then Outlaws, with that questionable play, just put themselves into a hole further.
And you can see with having oh, we're going into a replay here. Yeah, so you can see that they have vision, but they still want to have this fight for some reason. And Tristana is so far away. The Galio ult comes in. Willaris isn't able to put out too much damage because he doesn't have enough items, and he has gone for the Merc Treads. Tristana just comes into the fight here. That was just a poorly coordinated team fight. Yeah,
it made no sense, really. When your strongest member you know is down, is not going to be there for that team fight. Why would you go running into the river with no vision, looking for a fight, when Athletico had full control of it? They wanted that team fight. You could tell they were corralling them into it.
I mean, Athletico Esports always shows that their early game is coordinated, and Outlaws, that did not look coordinated whatsoever. Athletico Esports pulled a blind one on them, and this has happened all split long. Athletico Esports looking so much better.
You can also see that the gold lead isn't actually that different. I would think after that team fight it would be a bit bigger than 600 gold. They have forced them off the siege in the mid tower, and it looks like they have a good team fight.
With the Cataclysm coming through, but Doink locked back and rooted down. Great fight by Outlaws. Are they going to trade it off? Only one now. Dan for some reason goes all the way in, finds the knockup, but he will be destroyed with a double already for Rain. It's a 2-for-1.
All right, this game just got very interesting.
You can just see it, though, with these engages. Both these teams have heavy engaged compositions. Whoever finds it first seems to get the win.
Yeah, I mean, if they get mid tower here, they're probably going to be ahead of the game.
Yeah, but 5 to 8's taunted underneath the turret. Willaris has to use the Sanguine pull, and Hemoplate is going to pick up one. It's Aladoric going down.
That's a good 80 carry right there. Rain just hitting the tower, knows the objective is to get this mid-tier tower. He does secure that, and they're all going to base on a fat amount of money. I'm very surprised. So Tristana does have enough for his first seal item. They're going to be looking for a team fight. She's probably the strongest. She is the strongest person on the Rift at the moment.
Well, that's where you're seeing the gold 3-1 and 1,400 gold extra on Rain. I mean, the Tristana who we thought was getting bullied, the Tristana who took Cleanse, mind you, and the Janna who took Heal. The bottom lane has worked out, and we did say that was the one flaw with Athletico Esports. The Jinx pick, it's going steady, but not as steady as Rain.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that you bring up that we haven't really discussed here, is the summoners of the spot lane for Outlaws. The fact that they do have Cleanse, and then they've put in the heal onto their support.
Yep.
And I really feel that having Janna using the heal just gives her so many more options in terms of what she can do and how aggressive that she can be, because she is that queen of disengage, and she just gives a little bit of an extra tool. Good synergy.
The fact that you can run Cleanse on your AD carry scales very well. He doesn't need to build QSS.
Yeah.
He does have this probably about QSS is 1,300 gold. So you can safely say that Summoner Spell is 1,300 gold compared to Guncrab's heal.
Well, that's your next Zeal, right? If he goes for double Zeal item, that's 1,200 gold for Zeal.
Yes, but in comparison to the heal that Guncrab is running, that heal won't do much scaling into the later stages of this game, because how much will it heal you for? 300? That's essentially that's probably half a crit from what Tristana can do in the late stages of this game.
Especially when you're locked down, but here's Curse in trouble.
Yeah, Curse has used his ultimate, flashes forward. I don't know why he's flashing. I guess he's pretty confident here. Gonna waste time underneath the turret. He's surviving. This is Maokai, ladies and gentlemen, but Super Mega Death Rocket will pick him up. Meanwhile, Outlaws on the top side, they're going for tier 2.
Yeah, Galio's done a very good job to clear the wave. There is no wave for them at the moment, but Doink is going to recall. I don't agree with this. I feel like he should be. They have the tempo.
I mean, can he save the tier 2? I think it's too late, right?
No.
I don't think. I think it might still stay up.
I think they could have got bot inhib off this. You can definitely see that they have the Jinx and the Corki. They can take this towers down very quickly, but they've opted to recall and defend.
Well, at least Doink doing some damage. All 3 members at half health.
I'd say it was just more along the lines of the safer play. Maybe, you know, they decided to go, okay, guys, we're not too sure about this decision. Let's just back up. Let's go for something that's a little bit there. The nerves are there. This is semi-final time. Don't want to take those risks.
You can see that the mid tower is also open for them. So this tower is very low. It's been low for a while now. I'm curious if they're going to rotate and take this tower.
But they do get the Mountain Drake off the back of it as well. An actual useful Drake, I might add, for Athletico Esports. Gold is still neck and neck over, and after all this turret trading, it is still not going to make a difference. Outlaws still sit 1,000 gold ahead, and you've got that Tristana, you've got the Vladimir, and the later this game goes, if Outlaws are holding steady, Athletico Esports, how are they going to fare?
This is a very interesting game. It's very close. Both teams have very good scaling compositions. This is really going to come down to who has the stronger macro play and the stronger team fighting synergy.
And when you look at Athletico at this point in time, they seem to be the ones that have that in place. Although Outlaws may have a little bit of that extra gold advantage, having that Mountain Drake in place, having the ability to have those extra kills and get those objectives as well, means that if it does get later into this game, if Outlaws make one mistake, the punishment will be greater. All of a sudden, that's a Baron that goes down. All of a sudden, that's an extra 2 towers that go down because you've got that true damage. Outlaws are doing a good job here to make sure they've got control of the appropriate areas that they need to. But the thing is that having that Mountain Drake is just such a big risk.
I have a question for you. If both of these teams team fight right now, and let's say 50-50 even circumstances, who do you think would win?
So 50-50, like considering circumstances, Outlaws wins.
Outlaws wins?
Yeah, because how strong Rain is.
They have an Ardent Sensor on the Janna, and they have a Vladimir who is now level 13.
Flash over the wall. They've hit the Wombo. This is Outlaws with their perfect team fight. Right now, you are damn right, because they have fought and they have won. Look at Galio. He tries to get all 5 members, but 5 to 8. What are you doing in the red buff pit? 4 will go down, and Athletico have been caught out.
I actually just think that was a very late TP. That was a great engage by Outlaws. 5 to 8 was very late to that team fight. That was essentially a 4v5, and he offers himself up as another free kill, and they're going to get Baron off this.
And it just goes back to these team compositions. Whoever starts first, whoever is the more proactive team and finds the right fight, will actually be able to win out and get something out of it. And getting this Baron now means that all of a sudden, that Mountain Drake is not worth as much.
I also learned just then what kind of Vladimir player Will Aris is. He flashed over that wall for a great bigger. I think he hit like 4.
Plague.
I think
massive plague.
Yeah, so you can definitely see that this player knows his limits on this champion, and I've seen too many Vladimirs not flash forward, and I'm happy to see that he's that engaging tool and that proactive player.
Well, he's pretty much picked 2 champions to split, Vladimir and Orianna. Let's have a look again, because this was a wombo if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I'll go with this one here. As you can see, they tried to actually get control back with the friends. There's that flash you're talking about. They actually managed to get that Hemo Plague. And once it goes down, there was just too much happening. 5-8 tries to get himself back into that team fight, but it is completely too late. Having that extra damage in the Hemo Plague means his team was just melted straight away. And this is really starting to be Outlaws' game to win.
I actually want to give credit to Curse there. I was not aware that he followed, that he set up a great ultimate into a great E over the red wall.
Yep.
He didn't have flash up in that team fight, just showing that how good he could engage really without, because Maokai traditionally you need flash to get into that range, but he showed that he doesn't need flash. He caught them out of position and won them a team fight.
Well, now Outlaws with this boosted lead, they are going to go to the bottom lane, and this tier 2 is under threat. Center turret is going lower and lower, and I don't think Athletico Esports can defend this, but they will actually be going for a fight as Scamdini gets knocked up, walks on back to Endane at half health, teleports there, the Cataclysm again, knocked up, Glacial Fissure, but here we go. The roots are coming down again. The flash forward curse has done it again as the root hits 3 members, and Athletico Esports are running into their base. Outlaws don't care. Gunkrab gets disintegrated. Rain is resetting. Reset City, baby.
Wow.
He's going to get ulted and smashes Dandane against the wall. 5 to 8 can't do a thing.
They're absolutely brute forcing the end of this game at this point in time. Athletico chose a bad time to fight them. That's the big thing here. They have just got that fresh back. They've got the Baron there. They managed to take the turret down, and then they force a fight after your tower goes down. You do not want to do that, and the Outlaws are reaping it now.
And we've just seen Jinx pick up the Executioner's Calling. They've realized that this Maokai is healing way too much in these teamfights, but it won't even matter. This game may be over.
I think this is over. The Nexus is getting hit by 4 members, and Outlaws make some better decisions.
Oh, it's going to be close.
But now we're going for the fight. They're just hitting the Nexus away. Athletico, no words whatsoever, as Outlaws will pick up game number 1.
That was such an ebb and flow game. All of a sudden, you see plays happening from left to right. Athletico Esports seemed to be in the driver's seat of that particular after they managed to get the Mountain Drake. But whenever Outlaws pulled the trigger, decided to go for that team fight first, they took so much control from the game, and it was just basically a book closed the moment they took that Baron.
I mean, it ultimately came down, we said that there was a part in the game where they'd been farming for a while. It was about 26k both teams, and we were starting to question who's going to win this next team fight. And I think we predicted the right team. A great engage by Curse. You can kind of see the strength that Maokai brings in this meta. You said
he was absolutely
You just need to
busted.
question if they're going to let that go through.
And they did. And that was a massive mistake for Athletico Esports. I think we need to look at the draft first, because Maokai first pick looks so much more exceptional than what Athletico Esports put up.
Well, that's the great thing about best of threes, is this isn't a best of one. This isn't what they're used to. If they do have a strong support staff behind them, they will adapt. They will change their draft. They will go to blue side now. So it'll be very interesting to see how that changes if they do want to get the Maokai themselves. We saw a lot of target bans in that first game. You would think after this first game, you can see what the strengths they provide, the Tristana, the Jinx. They're not swapping sides, sorry about that. But that just means, will they give Maokai to Curse again?
Big risk.
It is a big risk, but all of a sudden now, because they are going to be on the blue side again, that goes, do we want to give the Maokai or do we want to give the Orianna? I think that's the big choice they're going to have to start making here, because they did ban the Orianna away this time. And they could tell immediately, Will Aris, even though he went for the Vladimir, who's typically more of like a super greedy laner, he did have that sort of greedy look into it. His playstyle is more support focused. He's willing to use those summoners. You saw it before when he landed that big Hemo Plague to make sure the team wins the team fight, not because he wants to get that last kill still at the very end.
But it was one fight. Like, that's all it took. Outlaws and Athletico were neck and neck. Outlaws were always kind of scraping ahead, choose. But it was that one fight they engaged perfectly. They hit every single wombo. Even the Janna knock-up from the Hurricane was like the final piece of the puzzle. And it just looked like execution-wise in the mid-game, Outlaws had it head over heels.
When you play a composition like that, especially tank meta, most of your engage tools do come from your top laner and jungler. You do have the exception of Alistar, and some supports can play that engage role. But it's really nice to have a top laner who can see those opportunities, who can see that engage opportunity, as we saw in that first team fight. And we could see Curse on this Maokai. I know he's known to play Camille, to be a split push kind of player, but it just shows that flexibility that this player brings to his team.
Exactly right. And Outlaws will take game number 1. However, it is a best-of-3 series, and Athletico have the opportunity to claw their way back. We're going to have a 5-minute break, and then when we return, game 2 of our first series of OCS.